We are constantly hearing the media and game developers say the industry still isn't inclusive enough, that there aren't enough women in video games, or there's too many white characters, and now the Assassin's Creed Mirage narrative director has said one of the main characters is an older female for a reason, because there just aren't enough in video games. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. So starting off with this Bounding into Comics article, it says the Assassin's Creed Mirage narrative director, Sarah Bolio, recently explained why she chose to introduce a new middle-aged female mentor for Basim. Speaking with Games Radar about the upcoming game, she discussed why she chose to introduce a new middle-aged assassin mentor. It says very early on, when we knew that we were going to work with Basim, with the creative director, we agreed that we needed a mentor because he's going to become an assassin. Obviously, we need a mentor. Now, I don't mind the mentor trope, don't get me wrong, but it's a very generic one, and I don't feel like they're going to do anything very different with it. Usually, the mentor, of course, teaches the younger character, they do something insane to help them out, and then of course they die, and the younger character that they were mentoring wants revenge, something like that. I have a feeling that's going to happen in this game. It says though, what I wanted was a woman mentor, but I also wanted someone who was not too young. I wanted someone in their 50s. That was very important because of their experience, but also because I think that we need more women of a certain age in mainstream media. Now, I'm perfectly fine with there being tons of female characters in video games, don't get me wrong, and I'm perfectly fine with there being a female mentor story. That's also a great idea, but when we get into what we need in mainstream media, I have to completely disagree with this individual. There are plenty of these women of a certain age in mainstream media. Let's just look at video games, right? Let's not even look at entertainment, because she's just saying mainstream media, so I could bring up a million examples. Let's just look at video games for a minute. I had made a very, detailed list here. I just made a list like out of the blue. It didn't even take me that long, and I didn't actually like sit for hours and start googling different characters. I just came up with a bunch off the top of my head. But let's just look at a few. Celine Vassos, she was in Returnal, fantastic female character. And I'm going to bring up another article from when Returnal released and we heard this same exact thing. We have Kreia from Knights of the Old Republic. We have Anna and Moira and Ash from Overwatch, and honestly, Mercy almost falls into that category because she's like 40 in the first game, and then she's like 43 or 44 in the second, but she said, just middle-aged, which is defined as 40 to 60. She specified the Assassin's Creed characters 50, so I'm trying to keep it around there. But we have Sindel from Mortal Kombat. We have Cassandra from Dragon Age Inquisition. We have Wynn. We have Felameth. We have, Jania and Catherine Proudmoore. We have Seer Junda from Star Wars The Fallen Order series. Another great character. Mother Miranda from Resident Evil. I mean, I could sit here and go on and on and on about so many female characters. It's just insane. So to say that we don't have enough and that we need more women of a certain age in mainstream media is just kind of a ridiculous claim to make. And of course, this argument that she is making here isn't a new one. Like I mentioned, when Returnal came out, we heard the same exact thing. And this, of course, was back in 2021, but this was a Wired article. I just picked one of the many. It says Returnal and why games need more badass middle-aged women. Again, there are plenty of middle-aged women in video games, in movies and TV shows, and entertainment in general, but of course, these individuals completely ignore those other characters in order to prop up their own, and I hate that. I hate that so freaking much. And in my opinion, This is just absurd because these people are always moving the goalpost, okay? Nothing is ever enough for them. First, it was just women. Then it's, oh, there's not enough characters of color. Then, oh, we need characters of different sexualities. Now it's, oh, we need specifically middle-aged women. What, do you think every woman in entertainment is 25? Do you think that's every single female character in the history of entertainment? No, of course not. For God's sakes, just let writers create. Stop telling them what needs to be in their fiction, what boxes they need to check off, or what group is now marginalized in games, so they must put them in titles. I mean, it is getting ridiculous. These people are constantly moving the goalpost. But as I mentioned, this Wired article is from 2021. It says, I bought Returnal, a video game from developer House Marquee, without knowing a thing about it. This was a very good game. Don't get me wrong. It was a very pretty game. It was a game that ran really well. It had a very compelling story. Like, it was a good game all around, and I highly recommend it, but not because I'm sitting here going, wow, they have a middle-aged badass woman in it. That's so unique. That's the only reason why you need to buy this game. And this is what, like, the media was trying to do, was saying you should buy it simply because of that. It says, though, none of that mattered because I wasn't buying it for the gameplay. I was buying it for the protagonist, Celine. She is a fairly ordinary video game character, agile, capable, smart, facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge. It's unusual for the playable character to be a woman, which is such a bold-faced lie, but that's not what makes her special. It's that she's middle-aged. I finally get to see myself in a video game. This individual has clearly not played many video games, because many of them you can create your own character and you can make your character older. You can make them younger. You can make them any skin tone you want. You can give them any hairstyle you want. But this person clearly just doesn't understand that. And that's why they decided to pump out this article in order to get those video gamer clicks. But they literally say none of the story mattered, none of the, setting mattered. The only thing that mattered to them was the fact that, oh, it's because of the protagonist, which obviously you want a compelling protagonist, don't get me wrong. But this, in my opinion, is not a reason to specifically buy a video game. I've never looked at a video game and gone, oh my god, it's a female, I've gotta buy it just because it's a female. No, I buy games because they look cool, because the protagonist seems really interesting, because the story seems neat and unique. Like, those are the reasons why. But of course, these people just have to constantly push, oh, I did something new, I did something unique, I did something different that other people aren't doing, and that's why you should praise me. I'm not gonna sit here and praise you because you simply created a character that's a woman in her mid-50s. That's great and all. That doesn't bother me. But at the same time, it's not unique what you're doing, and you're patting yourself on the back for literally nothing. These people are absurd and honestly piss me off so much because, again, there are so many amazing female characters in video games, and there's so many that are middle-aged, but they're completely ignoring their existence in order to prop up their new characters' existence so that the journalists will hop on it and cover it and talk about it and absolutely praise them when they don't deserve praise at all. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.